Doom 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 doom. Wow 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 wow. Doom doo 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 doom. Looks like Hitchcock, eh? Hello viewers, it's iDboy. It's the 2nd of March, technically. It's about well, it's 1st of March, but it's about coming up on midnight. In Islamic culture, and basically the way that Muslim dates are set up and what we've been taught, and essentially in Islam, the setting of the sun begins the next day. So technically, the eve is the start of the day. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, for example, that when the sun sets on... So this is actually Stephen Harper, and I just wanted to start off like that because it's an amazing silhouette that they've captured, and it looks like Alfred Hitchcock. That's the Quran playing in the background. I'm kind of torn between turning it off and not. Now, on the one hand, people are like, well, this is the thinking, guys. Okay? Thinking is, well, if you're playing the Quran in the background, then you should be paying attention to it. You shouldn't ignore it. Okay, that's one line of thinking. Second, what the Quran says itself, that all believers, when the Quran is recited, فَسَامِتُوا, become silent. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَرْحَمُونَ, become silent. I mean, pay attention to it. Listen to it. And when you recite it, don't make haste with it. You kind of essentially reach a point where they say, I haven't quite reached there, quite frankly. They say that you reach a point in reciting the Quran when you have a spiritual, mystical experience and you believe or you see or you're aware that someone else is reciting the Quran and you're observing it. It's very, very interesting. Essentially, it's the splitting of the self, essentially the detaching of the ego from the real self and awareness and all these things. I mean, it sounds very mystical and mumbo-jumbo. Guys, I'll be honest with you. All of mysticism and all of the supernatural and all of these, like becoming your best self and all this stuff, there's really simply two things. First of all, there's no subconscious. Every thought that occurs is subconscious. There's no subconscious. There's simply what in Arabic is called ghafla. Ghafla means negligence. We have a special prayer. There's 5 prayers. The last 2 prayers are the evening prayer and the night prayer. There's a special prayer in between those 2 prayers. That period is called, like, essentially when the sun's setting. So when the redness in the sky has disappeared from overhead, that is the evening prayer. And then when it becomes completely dark, when all of the redness has disappeared to the west, that's night. So for that duration of that period, from the redness disappearing overhead till complete darkness, is called period of ghafla. Imam Ali famously said, and I got my weights on obviously, I'm such a goddamn exercise addict, guys. I don't mind saying it at all. I don't mind saying that this body of mine constantly aches. It's constantly getting stronger, and I'm constantly putting it to the test. Guys, all of mysticism is behaving yourself. وَاجْتَنِبُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنُهُ. Just leave off outwardly bad things and inwardly. Outwardly we're very good at, guys. We're very good at smiling and being polite and... Like, I hate it. Honestly, I get pissed off. Sometimes I'll drop something and some poor... Because I've been given speeches and all this kind of stuff. And people think I'm crazy, but at the same time they're like, wow. Because I'm getting better at it. I can talk now and fucking hypnotize a whole room of people. If I start talking about something on the newspaper and hold up the newspaper as I'm walking up and down, giving them an astute commentary on what's going on, like a current affair, that's very relevant. It's practically impossible. See, the thing is this. Everyone has needs and everyone has problems. And one of the biggest things that we need, as per Alan Boutain's status anxiety, is we need to connect with the world and feel accepted by the world and feel loved by the world. I don't need any of that shit, by the way. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need any of that shit either. Okay? You don't need this thing called love. You don't need. And by the way, the answer is not self-love either. The answer is humility. The answer is self-awareness, in the sense of you reach a point where you realize that you're in a very, very precarious situation, guys. You're alive. You might die any time. Let's just say, at the very least, you adopt the thinking that tomorrow is your last day, and you behave accordingly. That take care of your dreams and priorities and what you should do in life. That's how you discipline yourself that way. You remind yourself constantly of your mortality. You don't have time, guys. You may not get a second chance, guys. You take the opportunity, as Imam Ali says, when it appears, because it passes like summer clouds. The opportunity for action. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family said, avail yourself of 3 things before 3 other things. Avail yourself of your youth before your old age. Avail yourself of fucking health before your sickness, before your eventual end and demise and disease. Avail yourself of opportunity to act before there's no opportunity, guys. And once you've gone through a lot of hardship in life, you get to a point where your main focus becomes avoiding that kind of shit. And at the same time, it's amazing because it gets more and more fucking intense. Because as you get stronger and stronger, God's testing you more and more. Guys, there's no enlightenment. There's no promised land in terms of you reach the state of nirvana. There's no fucking nirvana in this world. If you ever think that you're beyond the clutches of Satan, that's when he's got you. If you ever think that you're, a holy man, that's fucked. The holy person, okay, let's say it's a law of opposites. Good person thinks he's bad and a bad person thinks he's good, guys. To think you're good is not good. To think you're worthless. I mean, the key to humility is to actually feel lower than others. Otherwise, it's fake. Don't you see all of these things? Why do you need someone like me to come and explain these things to you? They should be self-evident to any thinking person, guys. I also actually wanted to talk about something else. It's 7 fucking minutes. This is ZaidiBoy. Here's my intro. Samuelus Remus is Twitter. ZaidiBoy.blogspot.ca is my personal blog. You're obviously at my YouTube channel. I wouldn't mind if you hit subscribe. You don't have to. I pop these fucking things out like bunnies, man. This is my 422nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th fucking video, guys. I mean, I'm not in it for the money or to be famous. You must have realized this if you take this into account. A guy who puts out 400 fucking videos and he gets average of 25 likes or 25 views per video. Hey, I got videos with 2,000 or 3,000 hits. I got like 100 videos about Colombia that have average 300 hits each, I'd have to say. 100 videos. Those Colombians are fucking passionate people, man. And you wonder why I want to go live there. You'll be like, oh, fuck off. You know, here's the thing, my dear Canuck or Canadian or anyone who's watching this who has this sense of entitlement or superiority. Hey, I'm American, so fuck off. I'm Belgian, so fucking fuck off. By the way, the migrants, I'm very fucking disappointed. Those guys are fucking out of control. Like in Germany and Belgium and Europe, they have to put like safety guards now on public pools and stuff, because these guys actually really, they're so fucking sex starved or something, or they've never seen like naked women walking around with bikinis and stuff, even on TV or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. They say woman walking around like half naked and they assume that she wants to have sex or something, and they start fucking flirting and touching these people, and there's been sexual assaults and all kinds of stuff. It's fucking absurd and abhorrent. Like, it's fucking abhorrent. And if you're a Muslim and you're pissed off that countries like Belgium and Macedonia and Greece are tightening control, they've already let in hundreds of fucking thousands of people, guys. 1 million or 2 million people were displaced in this whole fucking Syria thing. Everyone's like, this is the thing. Everyone's like, oh, this is the reason the migrants are migrating, and this is what they've come up with. Well, there's hopelessness, right? The Assad regime, actually, no, this is the latest one. I heard this on RT. It's from a good source. I forget who. The guy said it's a pipeline war, and nobody wants to die over a pipeline war. That's why everyone's leaving Syria. Doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Everything's about oil in the Middle East, and after Iraq war, which is even more devastating in a sense, You didn't see millions of people leave. By the way, Israel went into Lebanon and destroyed 25% of the fucking infrastructure of that country, that sovereign state. Apparently over 2 soldiers who had, as per Israel, they had incurred on Israel's sovereign territory and had been, a band of Hezbollah, let's say, who are Shia, and who I encourage you to look up, because they are the ultimate fucking jihadists in the correct sense. There's always good and bad examples in lives, guys. You'll never see beheadings with Hezbollah, right? You'll never see fucking suicide bombs. We don't believe in this shit, guys. We believe in an ideological war and in defending yourself. That's all we believe in. In the absence of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, or a designate authority, who is essentially a representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who proves himself through irrefutable logic and fucking miracles, that man, who's a man of light and a reflection of divine glory in all its manifestations, he's allowed to do whatever he pleases, right? If he says go to war, then you go to war. If he says hold back, you hold back. If he goes to war, you go to war with him, and it's an honor. And we die and we kill with pleasure. That's jihad. But in the absence of that man, who's our holy Imam, peace be upon him, and may Allah hasten his reappearance, Ahmadinejad, I give him props. He used to pray, he used to sit on the floor, and he used to eat food with servants. He used to pray just on the fucking pavement like me. He'd drive a beat up old Tata car or some shit, old Volvo from fucking 82, 87. Guys, you don't know what you're talking about when you start slagging off Khomeini. You haven't read any of his stuff. You haven't read any of his mystical poetry, guys. I wanted to talk about something else. And I've been talking about all kinds of stuff. But, you know what? Average video nowadays is like 40 fucking 7 minutes or some shit, right? I encourage you to take up swordplay. وَدْرِسُوا بِغَيْرِ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ. Teach. تَعَلَّمُوا بِغَيْرِ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ. Teach without words. So you see me twirling around the sword and doing all kinds of stuff. Guys, it's the best thing to get your stretch on. You take that behind you and oh my god, you can turn your arm in different ways and you thrust and parry. Guys, you think about all those fucking stressful moments. The sword is ultimate. You just point a fucking sword. You're thinking mentally of some shit and you point, like you think of some guy, your co-worker humiliating you, or the guy you helped out and he turns around and bites your fucking ass. Guys, I sound bitter and all this shit, but I'm here to tell you that, okay, there's a beautiful story or some tradition of holy prophets, peace be upon him. I'll get to this atheist stuff briefly. If you want to fast forward, go fucking ahead and do it. I'll probably be at 50 minutes when I start. Okay? I still need to put some context. This is how I live. This is how I speak. It needs to be done correctly. The ducks need to be lined up. And everything needs to be in precise order. And if there's anything rationally or within my heart that I feel is out of place, I linger. And then either through Allah's power the thing is arranged correctly, or I fucking take care of it like Tom Sawyer. Okay? Alright. So now. Okay. So basically, let's just get onto the atheist stuff. I totally forgot what I was talking about. So, atheist is a failed spiritualist, guys. What does this mean? Atheist is a failed spiritualist because atheist obviously comes from a set or subset of one of the two. Either his parents believed in God, and his parents didn't. And we have to assume that you take a level playing field in the world at large. I think it's appropriate to throw out something like 80% of people, at least in our current generation, like let's say circa 80 to 2000, anyone born in or raised in that period, or who's a teenager during that period, etc., like the current generation or previous generation, okay? Generation X, I'd have to say. These fucking people, including myself, believe, 80% of us believe and were raised to believe in God. Now, the question of parents who believe in God but don't raise their kids that way is kind of moot in my mind, because if you really believe in God, and you're really spiritual, it's actually very fucking pervasive, or it basically takes over every aspect of your life, right? And it's not something you just ignore in terms of teaching your kid about something. Make sense? Maybe, maybe not. Not a lot of what I say makes sense to people sometimes. Guys, let's assume you're an atheist. We have to say that the chances are 80% or 8 out of 10 that you were raised to believe in God. Now, if you're not in that subset, then I guess this doesn't pertain to you. If it does pertain to you, then right away we understand atheist is a failed spiritualist. However, like the Catholic Church, who has taken Mary and put her in divinity, just to answer the question of how could there be Jesus, the Son of God, without Mary? Just like that, Sam Harris, may God prolong his shadow, because he's a fucking man of action and a true scholar. And I dare say a believer. I'm going to just throw that out there. I never met that guy in real life. And when I seen his last video, my hackles were up. But I've thought it through. Okay, I got one of these security companies fucking send me a cease and desist order. Regal security. I don't know what to do about it. Actually, I do know what to do about it. I'm going to call them up and fucking leave them voice bombs. Anyway, I was working at the Western Center when I had the opportunity to watch a whole bunch of videos. Guys, listen to me. Listen carefully and understand. The bumps in the road sometimes are the road. In fact, they are the road. That is the part of the road. Guys, the impossible and difficult and challenging parts of your life, the parts that make you or break you, do make you, because they don't break you, guys. 1 out of 10,000 people, or 20, or 30, or 50, or 60, 70,000 people commit suicide. Okay, I watched this video on YouTube of some guy, and he's kind of semi-famous, and he has this thing called mirroring, where you stand in front of a mirror, just like I discovered and talked about and tweeted or put on Facebook years ago. I mean, I'm not boasting, but it seems kind of obvious that standing in front of a mirror and looking at yourself is the ultimate kind of meditation. You know, people call it narcissism, or they say, you know, why should you stand in front of a mirror? And like looking at yourself the whole time, isn't that kind of vain? You know what? You totally misunderstand the whole thing. What is self-awareness? Why would you sit and meditate, and what are you trying to achieve? Do you understand that the fucking purpose of meditation, there's two purposes as always. One is inward, one is outward. Inward purpose is to know yourself. What does it mean? It means you pay attention and you begin to see, you look into your past and you begin to see patterns in how you behaved. Okay? Then you look into your present and see the emotional turmoil that usually exists. I don't have emotional turmoil, by the way. You know, I may seem frenetic and like I'm acting out half the time. And that's because I do act out. Whatever occurs to me, I act on. Right? There's nothing that is accidental. If it occurs to you, it's relevant. In any case, you're meditating. The internal goal is to just pay attention to what's going on internally. Guys, you don't focus. I'm sorry. I've tried it. I don't think it fucking works. And I don't know if it's a Buddhist thing. I don't think it is. Focusing on your breath. I don't think Buddha talked about it specifically. I mean, he did talk about it, but he didn't teach it. He kind of just put it out there, as like I'm saying, which is that if it works for you guys, obviously if you pay attention to your breath, at the same time you're traversing multiple worlds, like with different steps, and at the same time you've got it together in this world. That's key, guys, by the way. Spirituality is nothing without being success. You need to be successful in this world and the spiritual life, like in the internal and external life. That took me fucking 40 years to realize. Right? I was big on theoretical mumbo jumbo spirituality, and then I paid attention to what my wife and my dad were like, which is they get up and they're going like Energizer fucking bunnies, 24/7. Every minute of every day is productive. They don't sit down for a fucking second. I got the same complaint about both of them. My dad, 73, God bless his soul, 72 at least, right? Okay, his papers say 45, which makes him 72. His papers, right? His papers. According to his papers and his passport, he's 72. But he's told me that he was born more like in 1942 and not 1945, which makes him 75 years old. Guys, he's a fucking martial artist, army man. He teaches at the university, okay? He gives private tuition, and he takes care of my mom, who has lower scale dementia, essentially. It's apraxia. I hadn't even heard of the thing. We thought she had Alzheimer's, right? But in any case, so you're standing there with your sword, and you zero in on all those bullshit moments in life, guys. It's really therapeutic. Anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. So, atheist, is a failed spiritualist in the sense that if you believe in God, then that's spirituality. Now, on the other hand, what Sam Harris has done, which is incredible, or kind of crackpot, I'm still trying to figure out which. He's taken to the notion that you can have spirituality without what? Without religion, for sure. Okay, but what about the spirit? Spirituality is of the spirit. The definition of spirituality is the whole fucking thing is this. It's so weird. Like, spirituality or spirit pertains to those things which are non-empirical. That's the whole thing. The whole fucking thing is that where materialism ends, spirituality begins. I don't know if I'm saying anything that's controversial or something that average person would disagree with or have a problem with. You have materialism, then you have spirituality. Is there such a thing as spiritual materialism or materialistic spirituality? No. Now, do you have material atheism and spiritual atheism? I believe so, in the sense that you have atheists who are militant and materialistic, and just like fucking fuckhead fundies, like fundamentalist religious people, fucking idiots who are just trying to, like, as much as they say they're the best and they're not, they're basically doing what they're saying you shouldn't do. They're fucking hypocrites. Like in atheism, it's like they're ranting about how religious people judge you and all this kind of crap, and they're the worst. They fucking judge you and all revile you, insult you, and send you all these silly posters. I actually like a lot of those posters, my atheist friends. You know I love you fucking fuckers, eh? I'm just trying to teach you guys that you should be not so... You atheist fuckers, okay, listen to me. Now that I got your attention, isn't this awesome? I don't even know what the fuck this is. It's like a bamboo cane. I have no idea where I got it from. It's my best friend in life right now, right? Seriously? You know, whatever stress you're feeling, guys, once you start practicing fucking sword moves, for some reason you feel, if you're a guy at least, you're gonna feel like fucking He-Man, guy. I was teaching it to a security guy at the library, Parliament and fucking Gerrard, here in downtown Toronto. Guys, the guy was really fucking amazed because he saw me with I found like a mop, basically, a mop handle. I love them shits, and it had like beautiful painting or pictures on it. And so I was carrying it around, and I lost it, obviously, in my travels. But I was planning to bring it home and turn it into one of my devices. And what ended up happening is I stopped to roll a joint, and I fucking and it started hailing. It was so fucking intense, guys. Another sign of God. Stopped it was already getting kind of windy, and when I sat down, it started getting more windy. It was almost like God saying, "Don't stop here," and I did keep moving. I'm rolling a fucking joint, thinking about these kids who had taught me or told me that you can roll a joint in the wind. You put the weed in the paper, right? And I mean, I roll tobacco. Actually, is what I roll right now. I call fucking tobacco a joint, right? And I don't give a shit because it doesn't make a difference. I'm whacked out anyway. So whether I smoke weed or tobacco, people think I'm insane. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't, and I don't give a fuck about either one. I'll smoke weed in front of anyone or anywhere. Like I went into McDonald's once and opened the door and blew weed in. I've blown weed into people standing in a bus station. Right? I've smoked weed on a subway and a bus. Fucking guy stopped the bus and exited me, which I knew was gonna happen. He didn't even say nothing. He just stopped the bus, opened the fucking door, and I got out. Anyway, guys. Okay, so atheist is a failed spiritualist. Can we agree on this? Atheist will actually... Okay. Atheist, worth his salt, will actually discount spirituality completely because it's attached to the soul or the spirit. atheist worth his salt will say, yeah, fuck spirituality. There's only rationality. Fuck spirituality, because spirituality pertains to those things that they're beyond empiricism, guys, by definition. I say anything that's beauty, love, justice, honor, if you have contempt for evil, if you're compassionate, like, you know what? Rationally speaking, I don't know if there really is an argument for compassion. There's arguments for fucking honesty, but compassion is just something you feel. You'll say, well, if everyone takes care of everyone, then society as a whole will benefit. You know what? To me, that's a very fucking weak argument. I don't care what people say about the selfishness being at the special level or the genetic level or whatever. And I'm talking about Richard Dawkins' form of evolution. Guys, to me, I just understand what I am and know. I may not even exist in this physical form, but there's a spark or something somewhere that's thinking and is self-aware, okay, and has the opportunity to evaluate its thoughts and motivations and so-called outward appearances, how they change based on what you're thinking, okay, what you're internalizing, what you're letting happen in your thoughts happens in real life, guys. That's a tweetable fucking quote, and because I love you, I'm going to stay here, talk to you, and finish off this train of thought. Atheist has either discounted spirituality or what? He's become Sam Harris, who's unique. I don't know anyone else who would even be bold enough to put the two together. Either he's incompetent, which he's not, or he's thought the fucking thing through. I should probably read the book, Waking Up, Spirituality Without Religion. I think that's a great fucking book that you should read probably anyway, because you need to be spiritual in any case. So you might as well know the non-religious point of view, if that's what that is. And on the other hand, if you want to be spiritual without being religious, what better thing than to read this book? Because there's no other. I'll tell you, I scour the fucking planet of the earth, the surface of the planet, for knowledge, guys, pertaining to things I'm interested in. I'm not interested in HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. I'm not interested in finance. I'm not interested in real estate or bureaucracy or, things like accounting and shit like that. It's all, to me, that's all administrative stuff. But other than administrative stuff, I'm interested in pretty much everything. Sports, health, fitness, religion, theology, questions of life, movies, art, fucking science, everything. I haven't found nothing apart from ladyfingers, like the fruit or the veggie. I fucking hate them shits. I hate them and all this administrative stuff. I fucking hate. Which includes bureaucracy and just formality and just bullshit. Bullshit, just mumbo jumbo. Yada yada yada. We got to fill out this form. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Nobody uses it. It doesn't get scanned anywhere. It just goes in a file somewhere. It's creating paperwork. That's about all it's doing. Well, that's the way we do things. Because the form has a number that we got to stick in the computer. How fucking stupid. Just assign the number and let's get done with it. It's a field in a computer. Stick it in. And that a field's attached to. If we're only interested in those two things, then fuck the form and filling it out. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, let's finish this thing off. Spirituality, atheist. Okay. The interesting thing is this. This whole conversation that I've had, that atheism is connected to non-belief in the soul. Although Sam Harris brilliantly does not discount the existence of a soul. He's a great man. I dare say he would probably not discount the existence of God, but he would say, it's not been proved to me, or I haven't reached a rational conclusion in my own self, or what have you, which includes heart and mind. I mean, he's just a self-aware guy who knows how to essentially think for himself and has reached degrees of enlightenment, therefore, and has been able to, along the way, teach and elucidate on these stages and progress within himself, and attach it to essentially militant atheism. I'm sorry, Sam. There's only one kind of atheism that is so fucking extreme, which is militant atheism. Or would you call yourself a spiritual atheist? I think you'd probably be averse to that kind of title. Or are you really a spiritual atheist? I believe in such things, but I have my terminology. When I say spiritual atheist, I mean something else. Anyway, here's the real question, guys. Is an atheist someone who believed in God and then one day he was let down by God and as a result he turned his back on God. He didn't have the patience, and he didn't have the cojones to live up to God's standards of himself. You know, there's a saying of our 60 man, peace be upon him, that when God tests you, he tests you and challenges you based on his conception of your capacity. So you're looking at a problem thinking, fuck, this is way too much. But God's looking at you thinking, you're such a powerful man or woman. This problem is nothing. I've already made the circumstances available for you to figure it out. All you got to do is use your mind. Guys, have you ever been in so much pain that you were going to die or died or fainted or something? Have you ever been in so much something? What's that? Like the worst things that happen to a person happen in their own mind, guys. So anyway, spiritual atheist is something else. But material atheist or militant atheist, in my thinking, is a guy who basically was let down by God because he didn't have the fucking balls to suck it up like the Buddha. Yo, that's all I'm going to say. I love this one. I hope you appreciated the lighting effects. All of it was deliberate, just to, you know, emphasize what I was saying. So goodbye for now. Thank you, my atheist friends. I really love you guys, the good ones. I really appreciate it when someone comes to my YouTube channel and just really, after having listened to something I said, responds with a heartfelt comment. I tell you, that is what I live for.